I know like people are, really invested in this calling me a fake Christian thing, which is weird. But like one thing I've really been thinking about is that like God does find a way to humble us all.
Because sometimes people are never humbled until God steps in and he humbles them. Wait, did you watch my video? Surely not. Like, I'm literally a gnat on a horse's patoot, like a fresh baby zygote. Maybe he's finally getting it.
Been thinking about the last couple days is how I used to participate in these same hate mobs and do a lot of the same stuff. You know what? I did the same kind of for a lot of years. And I mean, definitely not at the level that it is now or the violence that is attached to it and the insanity that's attached to it.
Now, wait a minute, Jared. No, not like that. What's up, guys, and welcome back to this turd show we call the internet. My hair looks orange. You know, the color of my hair right now looks like the color of a dog I used to have. I'm going to get to Melonie and Chrissie here in just a second, but I need to say just a couple more things about Jeremy. So if you've been keeping up with the nonsense, Jeremy actually deleted his entire X account, and he said that he was going to do a hard cut, whatever that means, but he's still been sitting there on X, pulled up during his live streams, which I don't see how that's cutting X out of anything because you're still using it. It doesn't make any sense. Then he played the "my channel is under attack" card. He did that again, claiming that he was flagged or whatever, saying that content was missing when he actually got caught in a lie and deleted it himself, including tons of episodes that he did with Bering and Count Dankula. Bering leaked their DMs, then Jeremy deleted his entire X account, which he still has 30 days to get it back, I think. But yeah, still not a good look, especially when he refuses to take accountability for anything else that he's done in acting so self-righteous. This meme absolutely buried me. Look at this meme. I'm sorry. Okay, you still got to have a sense of humor in all this. I rate Jeremy over the coals quite a bit in my previous video, but I felt like gave him some pretty decent advice, as a Christian, and told him what I believe his next step should be. But if you're too far gone already, nothing is going to stop somebody from burning their own life to the ground. I feel like he's become just another case of somebody who flew too close to the sun, somebody who got a little too big for his britches and thought he was a little more important than he actually was. And now he's finding that out. This is how out of touch he is. See, at the end of the DMs, in reference to Bering doing the video on him, he says, "You called me an alcoholic," which is effing insane. You see what I'm saying? Like, bro doesn't understand what actual friendship means or what being a Christian means. It means telling somebody the truth no matter how much it hurts. That's what real friends do, and what we Christians don't shy away from. We don't shy away from the truth no matter how ugly it is. And only enablers and grifters will soothsay you with crap like, "Oh, you poor little thing. It's okay that you like to have a few too many most days. That's all right." Me, I'm about as blunt as a butter knife. That goes for every friendship, every relationship that I've ever had. That's what I feel like is required. You need to be blunt. Now, there are times where it calls for you kind of reining in, your words and really watching what you say. But in most friendships, no, you just say what's on your mind and you tell people the truth. The video that I played at the beginning was Jeremy dismissing everybody, like everybody's reaction to this as a hate mob. Please, good sir, please find one sentence in the previous video and in this video that's hateful. I'll wait. He's living proof to me that some people are just weak and they cannot handle criticism. And the fact that he lumps all of us in together into one category of SJW, leftist, hate mob. Let me tell you something about me. I'm a true Southerner. I don't think you understand what that means. I don't think some people truly understand what I mean by that. Maybe I'll elaborate someday. But I promise you that I'm far more based than Jeremy Hambly ever dreamed of being. But when valid concerns are levied towards somebody who has a substance issue, they just automatically start dismissing it and swatting it away like a fly. Okay, now please do me a solid and like, comment, subscribe. One of those, at least one of those, like, you can at least give me one of those, okay? Show your Southern girl some love, and we'll get back to the video. Melonie Mac. So Melonie tried to cover for Jeremy, lied repeatedly, and got community noted to hell and back because of it. And of course, she deleted a bunch of tweets just like Jer has. She's glazing him because she doesn't want to lose her job. That's what I think. That she just wants to keep her spot on the show, and that's why she's been covering for him and lying for him. I really think that's all it amounts to. Have y'all ever listened to her on his streams? Like, sometimes the way she talks about the Bible so vaguely. It's the equivalent of like saying that you're going to make a beef stew, but all you wrote down for your ingredients list is just stew meat and a carrot. I mean, you know, she has her videos on X of Bible verse of the day, right? But, you know, and that's fine. But after seeing her lie about Jeremy, I cannot take her seriously. She tries to draw comparisons of the drama that she's embroiled in with Jeremy to scripture. And I just can't do it. Like, I can't listen to it. I can't sit through it. It's too cringe because she doesn't know what she's talking about. And just FYI, she speaks to Jeremy like he's a child. And I think I would rather have a root canal than listen to her baby talk him and sit there and powder his little hiney for doing like make-believe things like not drinking for 2 days and saying that he's going to work on his health and blah-de-blah-de-blah.
So I'm like doing a triple detox, like, so no X, no liquor, no nicotine. So
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, well, we'll see. You know, it's been like 4 days. Like, you know,
that's great. That's great.
Like, yeah, all those things were like feeding into each other. So it's just like, cut that, stop being cringe on social media, cut the liquor.
Wait a minute. This line, when she said this line, it proved to me, I was listening to it on the couch, y'all, and I literally jumped off the couch and I said, no, 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 no. This is what proves to me that you're not a genuine, honest to goodness Christian, because Christians, they don't say this.
That's what's wild to me is when people act like the measure of if somebody is a Christian is if they've been perfect their whole life.
No. See, we Christians don't say this crap. Only people that aren't Christians say it. We don't use the we're not perfect card or point at someone else and say, yeah, you're so perfect because you're a Christian too, so you expect me to be perfect like you. We're not doing that here, Mel, because that's not what Christians do. Only atheists and posers say this crap. And how do I know that? Because somebody that I know said this same garbage to me a few months ago. And I said to them, if you think that being a Christian is us walking around like we're perfect or expecting others to be perfect, then you have no idea what giving your life to Christ is actually about or what it means or what even God expects of us. Like, you don't understand that much. And that goes for you too, Mel. It's the expectation of being the same person on screen as you are off screen. We have standards and we expect Christians to not bear false witness, right? To not covet, to not be drunkards, to not lie, cheat, steal, or openly participate in sin. But it seems like none of you involved can help yourselves. I'm going to read this little bit of scripture for you. That way everybody understands exactly what I'm talking about. 1 John chapter 2, verses 15 through 17. Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world is passing away, and the lust of it, but he who does the will of God abides forever. I can see why her and Jeremy are thick as thieves and why he chose her as like a co-host, because she's about as entertaining to watch as somebody clipping their toenails. Having that been said, honestly, I think that Mel is the least egregious of the three. That's saying a lot. See, this is why I hate even watching or covering drama in any capacity, because it eventually devolves into chaos. More and more people get involved. They stick their noses in it, and it becomes convoluted and exhausting. I don't want to run in the same circles of any of these people, because I think we all need to strive to do better, since it's been made so very apparent that so few people actually fear God for the repercussions of their actions and sins. And look, I'm just a sinner like everybody else. I screw up all the time, every day. But I'm going to step up and take accountability, which is why I try my best to keep my emotions in check and not let them get the better of me. Look, I have a quick message for all of my new subscribers. It won't take but just a second, I promise. Give me a chance, and y'all will actually want to stick around. My first 20-ish or so videos were just me getting my feet wet, and I know that they were so cringe that I had to put them all on a playlist called First Videos on YouTube Straight Trash. But just so you know, this is not a drama slop channel, okay? So if that's what you expected out of me, you came to the wrong place, Buttercup. I'm sorry. I'm going to be focusing primarily on spiritual discernment, but look, I promise to try my utmost to put out quality content, because you got to admit, I am getting better, at least a lot better than I was 6 months ago. And yes, I have to read off of my screen because I am poor and I cannot afford a teleprompter right now. And I have the memory of a goldfish, so don't do drugs. Chrissie Mayr. Ooh, ooh, ooh. If you didn't already know, Chrissie Mayr is a comedian who has her own channel. And before this, she was a regular on the show Friday Night Tights with Gary over at Neurotic and the other Jeremy at Geeks and Gamers, and a few others. She brought Melonie on her show called Simpcast.
Ugh.
Is that really what it's called? Is it really called Simpcast?
Brother, ugh.
Oh. And of course, her and Mel are friends in real life. So while Jeremy was crashing out, Melonie was lying and covering up for him, right? Saying none of it was true. We're all just a cancel mob. These MAGA grifters who have to make everything political or ideological. I'm about as apolitical as they get because I think the left-right paradigm is a joke. Anyway, so in the midst of this, Chrissie brings Mel on her show, Simpcast, where Melonie proceeds to downplay the situation, and Chrissie pleads the fifth and pretends like she has no idea what's going on. But we find out that she did in fact know what Jeremy and Mel had been up to, and she had known a little over 2 weeks ago.
Specifically, Nina had sent a message to you, Chrissie, on the day that you had Melonie on, and she said, well, Chrissie, you're going to ask Melonie about Jeremy. And then you didn't respond to it. So I understand where you're saying, I didn't connect the Jeremy thing, was connected Melonie, but Nina connected it for you and had explained it 2 weeks prior. And then 2 weeks before that, you responded to Melonie's tweet.
So instead of doing what real friends do and, holding their feet to the fire for lying and justifying their boss's actions, Chrissie lies herself and makes excuses and says that she just had too many things going on, that she's got a baby and a husband and yada, yada, yada.
It was her in some way she was complicit in. Like the tweet you're mentioning, I didn't see it. I'm not like up on everything. I'm not watching everybody's content. The only video that I ended up watching
Well, it was
about,
about 3 weeks.
Okay, that's great. But you know what's also trending is my personal life and the shitstorm that is my dad being murdered and other stuff that I don't want to get into.
I'm very sorry that happened to her. I am. I truly am. I'm sorry for her dad. I'm sorry that she's going through a lot. But just because you have a lot of trauma and a lot of things going on in your private life doesn't take away from the fact that you chose to step into this. Okay, so let's just say that I'll grant the fact that she was protecting Melonie. Okay, even if she was lying, because there are so many women out here who are snakes who always stick together, no matter what. And yes, I've seen it in the church as well. There's not been a whole lot of women throughout my life that I've been able to get along with for this very reason. Let's just say that she's covering for Mel. Okay, understandable. Even if Mel is like pro deplatforming, which is screwed up and egregious, but that wasn't as much of an issue to me as what she did next.
So I feel lied to, especially after seeing the Nina stuff. And then I'm getting done off the phone with you and you're saying like, well, thank you for explaining to me, but you knew a lot of this stuff already. And I just feel like to see that somebody who's worked with you so long, and I don't feel like you're taking accountability.
I'm sorry that you feel that way, Brittany. Again, like how I handled the stream poorly is no reflection on you. And I'm even just doing this.
As we discussed, you kind of framed it that way.
Yeah, I'm sorry if you got hurt.
So Chrissie gives a non-apology over and over, doubles and triples down, and then gaslights and patronizes Brittany the whole time.
It's been a really bad week for me, and I'm, it seems like a lot of people have sort of been like caught in the crossfires of this. So
you're not really responding to what I'm saying. Yeah, I understand that, but I'm asking you like, hey, then why was there a red receipt by like 11:40 if you didn't see it? And I'm not getting like, as somebody who like, okay, let's try to resolve this. Like, I need honesty, and I'm asking you, why are you saying you didn't see it, but there was the red receipt?
Yeah, I'm sorry you feel hurt by that. I think it was just too late in the stream. I was trying to wrap it up, and
so did you see it? Yes or no? That's what I want to know. To be honest,
I didn't want her to feel ambushed.
So you did see it.
By the time I was wrapping the stream.
And who ignores their toddler over supposed drama, which, to be fair, it's not just drama. Like Brittany said, it's about deplatforming, which is a huge issue, and then turn around and use it as like a manipulation tactic.
I do now, and like putting all the dots together. And I have spent so much time these last few days literally ignoring my toddler to the point where he's in tears and making a fit. But mommy's got to deal with the TheQuartering drama. So
reading her super chats was far more important, while repeatedly disregarding Brittany asking for some form of an apology. Toward the end, one of the other chicks, I think her name was Kimberly, was like, Chrissie, you keep saying that you think it's so terrible that the casino was deplatformed. So, like show some good faith, bring them on the show. But as soon as she said that, Chrissie just started backpedaling hard. Kimberly was really pressing the importance of this and bringing them on now, which, I don't know if Andy could have, but Ashton absolutely could have joined.
So it seems like you want me to have my channel terminated by having them on, because I feel like that's the
I'd be willing to look up right now whether a terminated person is allowed to just make an appearance on another person's stream. I'd be willing to bet that that's not what the TOS says. And if it is,
it feels like
research does. I read it, but
it's again, I'm not responsible for their platforming, and I don't think it's right. But again, like I shouldn't be forced to have,
I don't think it's a matter of force. I'm telling you that it's a good idea. I'm telling you that like putting it off is not smart right now.
And Chrissie was like, okay, bye. She ended the stream like boom, like that.
I think I might.
So is there a problem with that? If it doesn't get you down?
I'm not gonna have them on tonight. It's it's not something I plan to do. There's already so much. There's already like too much show here, and I'm gonna have to probably do a whole nother stream just to go over the super chats. So, and so I'm gonna probably just end it here. I feel like I said everything I want to say.
Then Chrissie went on this other guy's channel. I don't even know his name. I think I saw it on Diorio stream the other night. She downplays it and doubles down again. And then she shakes her tatas for the chat. I'm not joking. She shook her boobs at the camera. So the question on everybody's mind is, why is it so difficult for these people to just fess up and say that they're sorry or admit that they've done something wrong? Why is that such an impossible ask? It's just so lame and cowardly. Everybody can sit here and say that's not what Christians do, but it's what Christians are expected to not do. That's what they're missing in all of this. It's the expectation of higher standards. And you know what I think it is for all three of these people? Now, this is just my perception of the situation, okay, based on their behavior online. That's it. They want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to still live the way they lived before they allegedly gave their lives to Christ or joined the Catholic faith. They still want to live the way they were living before their conversion, because when you get saved and you give your life to Christ, my pastor has an old saying that he uses all the time. Your want to changes. The things that you desire and the things that you want, they change. You want to do better. You want to glorify God in everything you do. You want to be of the utmost integrity that you can be, so that you can be a shining, leading example for others. The best thing that Chrissie could have done at the beginning of her stream with Mel to prevent it would have prevented this entire situation. All she had to have done is just say, yes, I'm aware of the drama, but no, we're not talking about it. So any super chats that come in regards to this, pertaining to this, will not be read. You're going to be wasting your money. Don't send them. We're not talking about that tonight. But she wouldn't have done that because she wants your money. She made that abundantly clear whenever Brittany and the other girls were on the stream with her, that super chats were more important. This behavior is just like, it's so unacceptable to me. And it's more than just drama farming, because getting people deplatformed over things that you said yourself is egregious, is abhorrent behavior. Deplatforming people over somebody showing you a mirror is unacceptable. But why should you care as a Christian? Because deplatforming sets a dangerous precedent. And because of people like Jeremy and Melonie and Chrissie, they give genuine Christians a bad name, guys. And people who are either uneducated or young will look at them and they'll say, well, if that's how a Christian acts, I don't want to be one. I mean, that's why it matters. It's pretty simple. I wish that we could all stay in our little Christian commentary bubble and remain completely unaffected by the madness, but that's just not reality. At least not online it isn't. Because I think it's a necessity for us to step out of our comfort zones and look at the ugly parts of the internet. When we see people acting this way, I believe that it's our duty. God calls us to point it out, to call them out, and to reveal them for who they truly are. That way, that we can pray that they will take accountability and truly come to Christ. That's what I pray for them. I pray that they do, because if it's God's will, let it be done. But if they've been given over to a reprobate mind or strong delusions that God has sent, then well, all the praying in the world won't matter. But it's still something that we should do because it's a part of our obedience to God. I'm almost done. In closing, I don't think that any of them are taking what they say online seriously. I think that they believe it's just one big game and they don't have to be accountable for what they've said or done. And in my experience, those types hardly ever change unless God actually steps in and genuinely humbles them, if at all. I had to be brought to my knees more than once for me to turn my own life around, for me to give up the pills, for me to stop constantly lying. It took me hitting a brick wall to finally remove those flaws from the very fabric of who I had become. And I always say that if I can do it, anybody can do it. They can do it too, but they have to want to change and to accept the fact that they've made mistakes, and that just to take accountability and just to say you're sorry. They also have to understand that they're going to have to answer for it someday. All right, guys, I'm absolutely whipped. Next video should be out here the next week or two. Not sure yet. Just keep your notifications on. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like it if you liked it. Too bad if you didn't. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.